Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here.
Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel, Jane Lorenzo.
Wait, what did you say?
Jane Lorenzo.
Have a good one. You guys better subscribe and watch my friend on his YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
What's the plan?
Identify the heretic. Put him in a cage.
Split any man from his arse to his apple.
Fumes of the dead hung in the air like poison. A plague, more cruel, more pitiless than war, had descended upon us. This was not God's work, but witchcraft.
Word has reached the bishop of a village that does not suffer as the rest.
I must see for myself how this village is kept safe.
This village we're headed to, they have cast God aside. In its place sits a demon.
The journey into hell. That God travels with us.
Where are we going?
What brings you to our village?
Word of the pestilence has not reached you.
Word is all that has reached us.
Nothing here is what it seems.
We have no fury, we have no pestilence, we have no God.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another movie review. This time we're going to be talking about 2010's Black Death.
I see no evil here, just a simple village that has not yet been ravished.
Do not be fooled. Evil lurks within this place, within these people. There is no God. Demons and necromancers are among us. As you will find out soon enough. I am death. Vengeance is mine.
God's fury rains down on you!
Starring Sean Bean and Eddie Redmayne. This takes place during the time of the plague in the 14th century England. Young monk Osmond is recruited by the knight Ulrich to lead a group of soldiers through the marshes into a mysterious village, where rumors are spreading that a necromancer is raising plague victims from the dead. Osmond agrees, but he has an ulterior motive to find Avril, a young woman who has gone missing. Along the way, the group encounters unimagined darkness. So yeah, just check this movie out tonight. I actually bought it a while ago from a small local library, ironically. And it's funny, the librarian there had wrote on the inside of the case, "Good but gory." And yeah, this movie, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. This movie isn't for everyone. Not because of the violence, though. There really isn't a ton. I mean, there's some like blood splatters, here and there during a couple certain action scenes, I guess. And there's a particular death that's pretty brutal. But besides that, it's not overly gory. I'd say it's more so not for everyone because of the themes. Because of course, in this time period, there's a lot of question and sort of paranoia and hysteria going on about questions of religion, sure, but also like witchcraft, devil's work, stuff like that, and of course, people making different angles out of things like plagues. And it's very interesting in that way. I think there's a lot of really good sort of subtle dialogue and character interaction that really kind of illustrates it. This movie also kind of reminds me of one that came out like 6 years later. It's not really about the same thing. I reviewed it a while ago, Pilgrimage with John Bernthal. Just two sort of period movies I've seen that sort of deal with, religion and stuff like that. Both very good in their own rights, really. And yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I brought up Sean Bean, of course, known as Eddard Stark from Game of Thrones, but he's done tons of movies. Kind of notorious for being killed off, but he's a very good actor, and he's very good in this. The movie's not overly long. I think it actually should have been maybe a bit longer. But he and Eddie Redmayne do share some pretty good scenes together. They don't really try and force any sort of camaraderie between the two, but what they do build, I think, is pretty meaningful. So, of course, Sean Bean does a very good job, and I haven't seen Eddie Redmayne in much, but he did very, very well in this movie as well. He really showed the character's own internal struggle, pretty flawlessly, I think. And the woman that he was searching for, of course, it's his love, his girlfriend, basically. Of course, she ends up being a tool, sort of used by Melisandre from Game of Thrones, ironically. Of course, played by Carice Van Houten. It's good to see her on this, although blonde I'm not used to. She is the supposed necromancer figure. But it even makes you think twice about that here and there when you end up hearing sort of Sean Bean's perspective and her perspective on what's actually going on. It raises some questions on both sides, and you can sort of make up your own mind on it. But she does very well. And ironically, I heard that originally Lena Headey was going to play that character in this movie, who's Cersei on Game of Thrones. That would have been even more ironic. The whole cast is pretty good here. And I felt pretty gripped by it, I wasn't sure how far they were going to go into like a supernatural horror kind of area. They sort of dip into it, but then they sort of pull it back and make it more of like a realistic sort of perspective on these events, which I think were still pretty well handled. I think it's definitely a movie worth your time. And like I said, Sean Bean, he was definitely the best part of it, though. That's why I bought the movie. That's why I watched it. This isn't a happy movie, I'll just say that. But he, again, just does really, really well. He has a great presence to him, and just his way of speaking, it always feels very natural, and he really knows how to deliver any kind of dialogue. So yeah, overall, I'm still kind of undecided on this movie, I guess. I feel like I have to think on it more because I did just watch it tonight. But for now, I'm rating it a solid B, right in the kind of in the middle there. Of a B and B minus, B plus and B minus anyway. But I don't really think I could go much lower than that because it's pretty well put together movie, and it's fairly well written. I think it portrayed a lot of, again, those themes and sort of paranoia and desperation of those types of times, pretty handedly. So yeah, let me guys thought about Black Death if you've seen it. Definitely feel free to comment below, and we can talk more about it for sure. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Also Twitter.